Hey guys, so I've got a new update for you. I'm making a video because it's pretty tricky to explain that stuff in writing. So the new stuff, is are several things. You've got sorry, you've got a service manager, and in that service manager, you've got two new things. You've got the auto settings and the cron. So the cron is a scheduler for those who don't know. And the other stuff you can see here, it's the broadcast and the event loop are stuff you already had. The broadcast, you're pretty familiar with it. It's this thing. And the log event loop is basically the part of the program that is taking care of blacklist, forwarding chat to your Discord. It's taking care of recording player history, so everything that is in this view originates from the log loop. So the log loop is a pretty important process, so please, well, I mean, do whatever you want, but I would not disable it. Anyways, and those two stuff, Cock the Guard and Vote Map, are plugins that I'm using only on my server, and that won't be available to you. So yeah, two new stuff, as I said, auto settings and cron. I'm gonna dive into the specific of those stuff in a minute. First, I'm gonna show you this new panel. So you see the status of the services. If something is down, it's gonna show as red. It's not a good sign. For the broadcast and the log loop, you can expect them to be down if you don't have any logs, for example, then the log loop is gonna be restarting all the time. That's expected behavior, so don't panic. Otherwise, it's not such a good sign if it's down for a long time, and you have people on your server, and you have logs incoming. That's not a good sign. So you can see the uptime here. It's in hours, minutes, seconds. So you get a status, as I said, and you can stop a process by toggling this button, and you can start it again. So this effectively is a restart, so if you ever have a problem with something, you can just restart it like that. It's pretty convenient for us. This Cock the Guard thing is bot. Sometimes it stalls, so it says running, but it's actually not working. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty convenient for my moderators to restart it like that. Anyways, let's dive into the specifics. So auto settings, what is that shit? Well, it's a script that applies server settings based on a metric. So in layman's term, a metric, so the only metric that is available right now is a player count. If you have more metrics that you would be interested in, feel free to give a shout out on the Discord. But so at the moment it's just looking at the player count. So the player count currently is 95, and based on that player count, it's gonna apply various settings or run commands. Those settings I'm talking about are basically those. Also, you could run any command you want, but yeah, that's how it's configured by default. So now you're gonna ask, how can I manage this stuff? So when you are gonna update the RCON, you're gonna get a new directory which is called config. Okay. When you dive into config, you see three files. The one we are interested in currently for the auto settings is this one, autosettings.default.json. So those are my own settings. I set them as default, as I think they are pretty generic. And this file, so it's a bit complicated. I would say it's more of a power user feature, but I think anybody can get it if they wrap their head around it. Here's the metric name. So in the future, if we have more metrics, then we're gonna have one more top level section. But for now, we just have the player count, as I say. And then in that metric, we've got two sections which are default and rules. So the defaults are the commands that are gonna be run if none of the rules matched. It's not always necessary if your rules are always gonna match, but I would still advise setting those. Otherwise, your server might stay in the state that was last applied by the rules. So, and in this default, so we've got 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each of the sections represent a command. So here you've got the command name, and here you've got the parameters you apply to that command. So yes, that's pretty much it for the default. Let's look at the rules now. So here's an entire section for the rule. First you've got the condition, and you've got the parameter for that condition. So here we say if the player count is between 0 and 10, apply this command. So the bounds are inclusive, by the way, so but they run in order, in whatever order you specify them. That's how they run. So if this one matches first, it's gonna stop there and not run the next one. So here you see that I said that it's inclusive, so if it's 10 people on the server, it's gonna match this rule. This rule is also between 10 and 20, so the 10 would be included. However, since the rule above it matched, then it's not gonna get there. Sorry about that. Yes, so, and if we deep dive a bit in the rules, here we set the idle kick time to a very high number, so nobody gets kicked when the server is in has very few people on it. We also prevent the team from diverging more than one player. 0 is a minimum for the team sizes. We set the max ping to be 1000 milliseconds, and we allow people to change team immediately. So that's pretty much it for this section. And then we go on, so we have a rule, okay, if the server is between 10 and 20 players, here's what we do. If it's between 20 and 50, you get the idea. And going all the way to between 96 and 100. Here we add an extra command, by the way, which is setting a VIP slot. I think not everybody's gonna want that, so you need to add your own rules. And how to do that? So let's go back up one directory. Now we are in the config directory, and what you need to do to have your own auto settings is to copy this file and remove the .default from the name. So the new file you will have will be named auto_settings.json. And then just edit whatever you want here. You can remove comments, add new ones if you want. There is no documentation for all the available commands. It's pretty much mapping exactly one-to-one the code. If people need more than those commands, they can ask on Discord, and we'll provide a bit more information on how to run those commands. Yes, so that's pretty much it for the auto settings. To summarize, it's basically a process that allows you to have a seeding mode. That's how most people are gonna use it, I suppose. But of course, if the server is almost full, you could also add another command saying I don't know, like setting a broadcast saying yeah, like server is almost full, we're gonna make room for members, whatever you want. Yeah, and if you need new metrics, as I said before, please just talk about it on the Discord and we can figure something out. Alright, so that was for the auto setting. Now for the scheduler, which is also a new service you've got. The scheduler at the moment, it's only doing two things. It's rotating your logs. So for those who don't know what that is, it means that it's automatically gonna move your log files to an archive, which is compressed and takes less space. And it's gonna do so every week. So here in this logrotate.conf, which you can modify as well, by the way, if you want. You see that the frequency is weekly, and that it's gonna keep 5 files in rotation. So essentially that means you're gonna have 5 weeks of logs, and after that it's gonna trash them. Some might ask, why do we need this shit? Well, the thing is that those logs, I don't know if you noticed, but they tend to take a lot of space if you leave them unchecked. So it can go up to several gigabytes. For people who have a small machine, small VM, that can be a problem if you get a small disk. And also because when you open a 1 giga file with a text editor, it doesn't like it, so it's not really convenient. So now that's solved for you. And the other thing it does, it's a bit more of an example, I would say, of stuff you could do if you want to extend that scheduler. Here, every day at 23, it is running the get VIP command. This stuff basically is a command line interface that this application is exposing. So not everybody will understand what I'm saying right now, but basically it allows you to run commands in the same way you run commands from the UI or from this other official tool. And here it gets a VIP ID and it saves the results in a file with a date. So essentially this is a backup for your VIP. It's actually useful for us at the moment because every time our server restarts, we lose the VIP, which is an awful bug. It's also losing the permabans, but that's another story. So yeah, I added that to backup your VIPs. Yes, so if you edit this file, the cron tab file, to add your own stuff, or if you edit the auto settings, if you want the changes to be applied, you need to stop the process and restart it, and your changes are applied. You don't need to go to your server and reinstall the app or anything. Just stop, restart. Yes, what else? Yes, in this section at the bottom I added 3 links for stuff. In 2 of the stuff were already there. So you already had the VIP upload page, which is pretty experimental. Here you can download your current VIPs, and using this file format you can also upload it again. If you click here, you choose a file, you click upload. What it's gonna do is gonna delete all your current VIPs and then add all those from the file. So it's doing a complete override, clean everything, re-add everything. Maybe I'm gonna add another mode later, which will be an append mode, so only add the stuff from the file, don't touch anything else. And maybe later also a delta mode, which is basically comparing the two and essentially resulting in the same stuff as now, but a bit more clever. So when you upload, you need to click upload once you've chosen the file. It's taking a while, don't panic, and it's going to show you the result, the number of deleted VIPs and the number of added VIPs. Sometimes it fails, just retry if it fails. And so here's the scoreboard. I guess most of you knew that existed. And finally, the new addition is the team kill overview. It's basically a copy of that ugly ass scoreboard. And in this view you can see the ranking with a team kill per minute. So this guy is the best team killer. It has 1 team kill every 3 minutes. That's pretty high. I should probably check that. He's been on the server for 24 minutes. Done 7 team kills, so when you divide those two together you get this number. And he was never killed by a teammate. And here it's basically the same thing but ranked by total team kills. So this guy has been there for 109 minutes. It's an estimation, it's not that reliable by the way this time. And if the guy goes beyond 180 minutes, which is maximum logs we can get, then some of the history will be lost. And yeah, he has done 9 team kills. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Last piece of information I got for you is that I've been in touch with game developers and they informed me on the changes that are coming in the RCON protocol for the next updates. So I was able to prepare to some extent. I was not able to test my changes because I don't have access to a server running that update, but at least we are somewhat prepared, so that should minimize downtime when the update drops. So yeah, that's it. Enjoy it guys. See you.